welcome back to my channel. So today we're just doing kind of like an on-the-fly summer tutorial, I guess. I don't know, I just wanted to film. It's been a while since I've like sat down and like filmed and just like chatted with you guys. So who knows exactly what this video is going to turn into. This ring light, like look at this is when it's on full blast and it's like, ah, and then this is when it's like lower. It's always hard to find the balance. I think that's good, right? I don't know, my eyes were kind of hurting there for a minute. So yeah, I wanted to use a couple of new products. I've gotten a few new things here and there. I got a new eyeshadow palette I want to try out. I got this from Charlotte Tilbury that I got during the Nordstrom anniversary sale. So I just got a few new things that I wanted to test out. This ought to be interesting because I already did my hair and I never do my hair first. I always do my hair after, so I'm kind of like, oh, I don't know. I'm not the kind of person that can do my makeup with my hair in my face. I know I watch tutorials sometimes of people that are doing that and I'm just like, oh my god, will you please get your hair out of your face? So we're gonna pin it back and we're gonna see how this goes. Okay, let's hop into this. The first thing I want to do is prime my face. I have a lot of my 13 by Halloween products in this tutorial as well, or get ready with me, whatever we want to call it. I'm not really going to call it a tutorial because tutorials, I feel like, originally were meant to teach people how to do their makeup, which I do love. I love tutorials. I love filming tutorials. I love watching tutorials. I feel like I always learn something new every time I watch a tutorial. But sometimes I don't necessarily want to like chat through every little thing that I'm doing, you know what I mean? I want to talk to you guys about other things. And so I just feel like tutorials are kind of a dying thing on YouTube, which is so sad. And now people are doing these like very elaborate, crazy things, which is like, you know, entertaining, but it's not a tutorial anymore, you know? So it's like getting ready in a hot air balloon and getting ready at the zoo. Like, okay, these are cool video ideas, entertaining, which by the way, oh, so that was the Touch in Sol No Problem. This is my NARS smudge proof eyeshadow base. Just priming my face, getting it all ready for makeup. If you guys haven't watched James Charles like zoo animals pick my makeup or whatever it is, I remember, hold on, I need to grab a makeup wipe. I remember thinking that has got to be the dumbest video idea ever, but I watched it, of course, and it was actually really interesting. Like, he talked a lot about the animals and whatever. This is the Laura Mercier Tinted Oil-Free Moisturizer. I got this for review purposes through Octoly and Laura Mercier, so they gifted it to me to try out, share with you guys. I picked out the color Blush. It's 2C1 Blush. The little name is right there. I'm a little bit unsure if I like this product, so I'm just going to put a little bit on the back of my hand. I do think the color is spot on, but the thing is, I have oily skin, and I always use just like regular moisturizer as I'm getting ready. So to add another layer of moisturizer to me is kind of like, I don't know. I like the idea of it for summer makeup just because it's light and like fresh and airy and like not fussy, you know what I mean? But I don't feel like my skin stays as like nice looking throughout the day because I'm super duper oily. So maybe if I use like a mattifying primer with it or something, that might help, but I don't know. I'm still testing it out. It does have SPF in it, SPF 20, which I do like, especially if I'm going to be outside. And today, we are going to a brewery. Whew, it's hard to talk when you're beauty blendering your neck. We're going to test out a new brewery. They just opened a new one here in Charlotte called like Victory Brewery, I think is what it's called. Victory and Southern Tier, I think. I don't know. Supposedly it has food, which if you guys have ever been to Charlotte, or I don't know if other places are like this, but I know Phoenix definitely is not like this, but There's a lot of breweries here, like a ton of breweries here, at least where we live in South End. It's just like the thing, like breweries are just like the thing, and they don't have food, which is weird. So you go and it's like just beer. It's just a brewery. Sometimes they'll have cider. Usually they have like a house wine or, you know, a wine or something like that too, but no alcohol. It's like no hard alcohol. It's just beer and no food. And so there's a couple of breweries that have food, and this new one supposedly has a menu. And from what I recall, now I wasn't like a big bar brewery person in Phoenix, but this is the, by the way, Maybelline Better Skin Super Stay Concealer. I actually really like this stuff, you guys. I like it way more than I thought I was going to. It sat in my makeup drawers forever, I feel like. And then I put it in my 13 by Halloween, so I've been using it. I actually really, really do like it. So anyways, I don't remember what I was going to say. I remember, well, what the heck was I saying? I don't even remember. Something about the breweries in Phoenix. There's only a couple. Like, breweries aren't really a big thing out there. And I don't know if it's because of the heat. Maybe the heat spoils the beer. I don't know. But there's a couple of breweries in Phoenix. Like Four Peaks is one of them. And, well, that's really the only one I can think of. But they have a menu there. And mostly it's just bar food. Like pizzas and fried stuff and I don't know. So we'll see what this new brewery out here has. Supposedly they have like sour beers. I'm not a big beer drinker. I never have been. I went through a phase in college where I wouldn't drink beer. And then I remember it was like cool like to drink beer. So I remember when I first was like legal to drink, and even before then, let's be honest, I only liked like wine coolers, which is so embarrassing, like Smirnoff Ice. And I drink those now and they're just like, ugh. Although they have those new like flavored seltzer waters, spiked seltzer waters, those are really good. And I have a feeling if those were around when I first started drinking, I probably would have loved those because they don't taste like alcohol. But anyways, I went through a phase in college where it was cool to drink beer. And I remember being like a natty ice person. That's so gross. I went to ASU, by the way, Arizona State University, which is another thing out here. There's also an ASU. So West Coast versus East Coast. I'm getting on the weirdest tangent here. This is the Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder. I've been trying to use this. I found this when I was doing my declutter of my powders and I was like, oh my god, I totally forgot I had that. And I've been using it in like different ways. So I've been using it to set my under eyes. I've been using it to set my face. I've been using it to kind of like bake with. I'm just trying to figure out what I like best about it. It's really messy though, like really messy. So I'm just gonna kind of semi-bake and then we'll dust it away. But anyways, so East Coast versus West Coast. One of the things I noticed right away is, at least in the South, so we'll say Southern East Coast, they love their college football here, you guys. Like, it is a thing. Like, it is not just a thing, it is a thing. It is a big deal. They love their college football. I think Clemson is the big one here. But people kept talking about USC. And in my mind, being from Arizona, USC is Southern California. So, you know, people are like, oh, USC's playing today. And I'm like, really? Are they? Like, that's interesting. And like, I didn't really catch on for a while what they were actually talking about. USC in the South is South Carolina. Who would have thunk? It is not Southern California. And I guess they like teach them because now there's like, you know, people are like, oh, USC, Southern California. They actually like teach them in their freshman orientation, apparently. that South Carolina was a state before, wait, what did they say? They were a state before there was, I don't know, something like they were, oh no, Southern, okay, so they were a school before California was a state, is like what they teach them. So when people try to say like, you're not USC, they say, well, we were a school before you guys were even a state. And like, that's, you know, how they'll come back to the USC thing. But there's also an ASU out here, and it's Appalachian State. And so actually one of my coworkers went to Appalachian State, and I remember saying like, oh, I went to ASU. She was like, oh my God, me too. I was like, really? She was like, yeah. I was like, oh, well, what made you move out here? And she was like, oh, well, I moved out here for school. And I was like, wait a minute, but it's in Arizona. And she was like, oh, and it's not, it's Appalachian State. I'm like, that's not even, if you Google ASU, you will find Arizona State University, not Appalachian State. But I guess now they call themselves App State. I don't even know. I don't even know. Okay. So I somewhat kind of sort of baked my face, but I'm going to set the rest of my face too. And I feel like when I do summer makeup, I try to use not a ton of powder, but enough to keep my face like somewhat matte throughout the day. So I'm setting it with my Too Faced Cocoa Powder Foundation, which is also in my 13 by Halloween. It's almost gone too. I've hit quite a bit of pan on that. I'm using a lot of stuff up, you guys, which is so exciting. It's such a satisfying feeling to like finish up your products, you know what I mean? Like, especially, so I'm doing this big declutter of my whole makeup stash, which you guys have seen a couple of those videos already, and you're gonna continue to see them, and it's like a whole series I have. I'm going through every single category, so you're gonna see it all soon enough, but it's kind of just reminding me like how much stuff I have, and it's like, why do I hold on to this stuff for so long? It is literally impossible for me to go through some of the amount of makeup I have. I think the biggest like eye opener to me, oh my God, I have that powder everywhere, was like eyeshadow palettes. Like, why in the world do I need so many stinking eyeshadow palettes? It's totally bizarre. So, ow, that hurt. Okay, I'm actually gonna do my brows off camera just because it does take me a little bit to do those, and I can't really chat with you guys while I do those, so I'm gonna do those off camera, and I will be right back. I feel like I can take this clip out now, at least for a little bit. Okay, done with those, and if you were curious, I used the Benefit Goof Proof Brow Pencil to kind of outline and fill in basically everything. And then I went in with the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter to kind of set them. I'm still unsure about the whole brow setter thing. I've never been a brow setter before, mostly because I don't really have actual brows. I do, but I don't have many brow hairs, and they're super light blonde, which is why I have to fill them in so much. But anyways, setting them is kind of like, what's the point? But now moving on to eyes. So I did go to Ulta, and I'm gonna film an Ulta haul actually probably right after this to show you guys all the fun stuff I got. So I'm gonna set that right there. But one of the things I did pick up is the Tartelette in Bloom palette. I have been so on the fence about this, and I've gone back and forth, and I've never really been the biggest Tarte eyeshadow fan. At one point I tried to convince myself that I was, and then at one point I was like, nope, I do not like Tarte eyeshadows at all. And then I kind of got back in the game with the little Man-Eater palette, and like, I'm still, I don't know, kind of on the fence. And I did have the original Tartelette palette, and I think I even did a video about it here for you guys, and like I liked it but I didn't love it. I ended up getting rid of it, and so I had kind of convinced myself that I didn't want this one, but then I've really been into Jam Beauty 89 Jessica. I just found her channel. I know, where have I been? And I've just been binge watching all her videos. I just love her videos. And this is one of the palettes she talked about that she really liked. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna test it out. I had like $125 in Ulta points, which is insane. But, so I was like, you know what? Let's just test it out. I can always return it if I don't like it. So if you guys are unfamiliar, this is the second Tartelette palette. They came out with an original one that was all mattes. And they actually named all of those after influencers, like they dedicated a shade name to all the different influencers, which I thought was really cool. I don't think they did that with the In Bloom palette. So anyways, that was a little nice touch that they got rid of. But yeah, so this one looks like, looks like this. So there's a mixture of mattes and shimmers, and I'm sorry that I'm fussing with my hair. I don't want to pin it back because it's going to give it a crease and ugh. Okay. So yeah, there's a mixture of mattes and shimmers. There's more mattes than shimmers, which I'm okay with because I tend to use more mattes in my eye looks anyways. It doesn't smell. Some of their palettes smell like vanilla. This one doesn't. I don't know if it's supposed to. So I'm going to start out with Flower Child, which is a matte kind of beigey color. And I'm gonna go in and just put this all over my lid to kind of get the party started. These are really powdery. There's a ton of kickback, which I don't know. If you guys hear a weird noise in the background, that is our washing machine. It's like growling right now. I'm not sure why. Okay, these are made with their Amazonian clay, which is kind of cool. I love Tarte's blushes. That was when I was doing my declutter. That was one of the things that was the hardest for me to part with, was some of my Tarte blushes. I'm gonna go in with Sweetheart, which is like a pink matte color, because I just love their blushes, and I went through a phase where I was buying every single one of the colors that launched, and at one point I did have them all. But then they started launching like all these holiday palettes and all these limited edition colors, and it was just really hard and really expensive to keep up with. So I lost that whole having the entire collection probably a few years back. Like I think they originally started with like 8 shades, and I had all 8, and I was like, oh my gosh, these are the best blushes ever. And I do still stand by that. I do think that they are the best blushes ever. But I think Tarte is one of those companies that like, they are constantly launching new collections, and I feel like every time I blink and every time I go on Instagram and I look at Trend Mood or, you know, the Tarte page, it's like there's a new collection, and every collection has a blush in it, and it's always limited edition, and it's just like, it's unrealistic to keep up with, and it's so expensive, and I'm not going to use all those blushes, and like some of them were just these colors that were just not suited for me at all. So anyways, I ended up getting rid of quite a bit of those a couple years ago, and then in this last declutter I got rid of a couple of them as well. But do you guys ever feel like that? Like, okay, I'm going to go into Rebel, which is right next to it. I like this palette because there seems to be a row of cool tones, a row of like neutrals, and then a row of like warm pinks. And I don't really have any palettes that have like these pinky browns in it. That's one of the reasons why this palette appealed to me so much, was this bottom row of like pinky browns, because I don't really have any palettes that have those in them. So anyways, what was I saying? I completely forgot what I was gonna say before I got sidetracked. I think what I was talking about was the fact that brands are just launching so many, at least this is what I was getting at. Brands are just launching so many collections, and it's like so hard to keep up with. And I feel like before this whole YouTube thing, so let's rewind and think back to 6 years ago, right? So 6 years ago, let's see, I was 24. I was living in my apartment. Was I with roommates or was I by myself? I think I was by myself at that point. And I was just getting into really growing my collection. And that was, I mean, YouTube was big back then, but it wasn't what it is now. Like now, the beauty community has just turned into, I think that brands have really benefited from this whole YouTube craze and influencers, and I mean, it's free marketing for them. And I am not only an influencer, but I'm a consumer and I buy this stuff too. And so I'm kind of like the best of both worlds for them. And it really catches on, like it's really caught on, and it really catches on, and it works, and people buy the products because you watch these videos, realize how awesome the products are, and then you go and buy it. And I think brands are realizing now that, I'm sorry, this is so hard to do while you're talking. This is like such a cool outlet, like let's get our products out there. And it just seems like there's so much coming out, because I think the brands know that they can come out with that much and they're going to do well, and people are going to talk about them, and then therefore people are going to buy them. And it's like, it's so hard to keep up with though. And then as somebody who doesn't get PR, you know, a ton of PR, I can't financially keep up with buying all of these collections. Like I just can't, like it's so unrealistic. I'm going to go into Funny Girl for my all over lid color. And so thinking back to like 6 years ago, when I feel like brands would only launch during the springtime and the fall time. Like I feel like those were, this is a really pretty color. It's going on really well too. Those were the two big seasons. So it was like springtime and fall time. So there was usually spring collections and fall collections and holiday collections. There wasn't really ever summer collections, I feel like, and I could be wrong there. But for the most part, I just remember getting really excited for spring launches, fall launches, and holiday launches. And even then, the holiday launches were like, you know, like one palette. So like Too Faced would come out with like one holiday palette. Urban Decay would have one holiday palette. It used to be their, I think their Vice palettes. Like that was their big holiday palette, and they'd launch the Vice palette, and it was like, oh, you know, let me get the Vice palettes, the holiday palette. And so like, it was just, you know, it was possible to buy all this stuff. And now it's like Too Faced comes out with like a million holiday things, which is so exciting. And like, I want to try it all, but it's just hard to buy all of that. You know what I mean? And especially doing what I do for you guys, testing out the products, sharing my thoughts, telling you if I think it's good or not, like it makes me want to test them out even more. I'm going to go in with Charmer. And then somebody like Tarte, or brands like Tarte, like they used to come out with their blush palette. That disappeared. I'm not really seeing any payoff for that. Let me get a different brush. Yeah, this color Charmer is a flop. It's kinda, I don't really think it's doing anything. I was hoping it would be like a good matte highlight for my brow bone, but I mean, can you guys, no, it's not doing anything. But aside from Charmer, the rest of this palette was really good, you guys. There is a bit of kickback. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it on the palette or not, but it is just a tiny bit powdery. There is a little bit of kickback, but I think the color payoff is really good. I really like at least those 3-4 colors that I used. They're really good. I'm gonna just kind of blend this out just a little bit because this is a daytime look and we are going out after this, so I don't want it to... But anyways, I don't even remember where I was going with that tangent, except for the fact that I can't keep up with all the launches, and I'm trying to be more selective in the stuff that I purchase and share with you guys and keep in my collection. So I was so on the fence with this particular palette, but I think I really like that. I'm gonna put it back in the box so I can film my haul. And then after I film my haul, I need to throw it out of the box. That's one of the things that I've realized with my whole decluttering thing is if I keep a product in the box, I will not use it. Which is totally ridiculous. By the way, that noise is my vanity. It makes like a cow noise. Like, of course it's not gonna do it now. Okay, of course it's not gonna do it now. Of course, right? But I filmed a couple of like on the fly videos with my iPhone, and they were like get ready with me's, and every time I opened the drawer it was like and every time I did that I found the need to like disclose, hey, that's not me farting, that's my vanity. But anyways, okay, so this eyeliner is Urban Decay Whiskey. This is a brand new eyeliner. However, it has been hanging out in my collection for a while, but it was one of those products that was chilling in a box. And because it was in a box, I didn't use it. So I took it out of the box, threw the box away, and now I'm using it. I do really like it. So it's just like a matte brown. And I am definitely a brown eyeliner fan. So I went through my black eyeliner phase in my 20s. Early 20s, mid 20s, teens. I loved black eyeliner. Urban Decay Zero was my favorite. And that used to be the only eyeliner I would buy. Like, it was the only thing. I started in high school. So as soon as I got a job and I was able to buy my own makeup, I went to Ulta. One of our family friends, one of my sister's friends, bought me an Ulta gift card for my birthday. I went to Ulta and it was all downhill from there, pretty much. But yeah, Urban Decay Zero was my favorite. But I don't know, I got to a point where I was like, I don't know, I think black eyeliner is just too harsh. And so I switched to brown maybe like 3 years ago. 2 years ago, not too long ago, and it's pretty much all I use now. And it started with just like if you kind of want to transition into brown, what I did was I bought an eyeliner that was almost black but brown, and I kind of started there. And you can barely tell the difference, but it's just the slightest bit more like soft and like daytime appropriate, if you want to think of it like that. But just the slightest bit. And then you can start exploring like different shades of brown. Maybe go a little bit lighter. Ardency in Modster in the color Coffee is like the best one. It's matte, it's a deep chocolate brown, it's almost black. It really is like the color of coffee. They named it perfectly. Okay, so I'm just smudging out my top lid. A lot of you guys have asked me how I do this. This is a smudger brush from Sephora. It's literally called their smudge brush, Pro Smudge. And that's what I do. So I just kind of layer the eyeliner, smudge it out. I kind of wing it out like ever so slightly. I wouldn't even call it a wing, but just like a little bit at the end there. I'll put my waterline. Oh, that was messy. That was really messy, but that's okay. I'm gonna smudge it out. And it fixes it all. Smudger brushes are like, okay, that looks really dark. Look at this eye compared to this eye. Like how much brighter and awake this eye looks. So you can see what eyeliner does. I don't know if I like that. I kind of wish I didn't put it on there. I'm just gonna make the top a little bit darker. Okay, well, I gotta make a match, so. Okay, if you wanna make it like a little bit darker, like if you're trying to go brown, but you're still kind of stuck on black, what I will end up doing is getting a black eyeliner and just smudging it on the outer V of my lash line. So I'll put it right on the top half and then like a third of the way down on the lower lash line. Same up here. Our washer's beeping. I don't usually film on Sundays, but today's Sunday. And Sunday's laundry day. And so yeah, you're gonna hear the washer beeping and stuff. Okay. So yeah, so that is what I do for eyeliner. I'm kind of debating, do I want to wear lashes today? I don't think I do. I think I'm just gonna layer up the mascara. By the way, this eyeliner is the Mally Beauty eyeliner. And I've had this for a long time. Like, I think it's expired. I think it's well past its life. And when I first got it, I loved it. And then I stopped using it for a while and started using it again. And I remember it being like kind of sort of flaky, like somewhat flaky. So I stopped using it. And then I started using it again, like I sharpened it a little bit to kind of like remove a layer. And I think I'm gonna curl just a little bit more. And then I remember really, really liking it again. And so I started using it again. And then I got on my brown eyeliner kick. And I just kind of forgot about it. So I pulled that out. That's part of my 13 by Halloween as well. I can't remember if I made that like a bonus item, but there was a couple items I threw in and I made it 15 instead of 13. I'm gonna get my hair out of my face for my mascara. This is Benefit Roller Lash. This guy is about on its way out too. It's almost dry. I've actually gotten to the point where I need to do 3 coats of this instead of 2 coats. Because it's kind of dried out. Okay, I think I'm gonna forfeit the lashes today. It does look a little bit different. This is what I don't wear lashes on a daily basis, so this is what I look like when I go to like work. But I think usually when I film, I'm wearing lashes, so it's a different look, but that's okay. Okay, so moving on to face makeup. I think I really want to use this. So this palette is by Charlotte Tilbury. It's a Nordstrom exclusive. It's called the Glowing Pretty Skin Palette. So there's an all-over face powder, which is just a hint too dark for me. A bronzer and contour, pretty blush, summer blush, glow, glow. So there's the powder, the bronzer, blush, blush, glow, glow. So I'm wondering if this bronzer, first of all, the pan is so tiny. But I'm wondering if it's going to be dark enough. It does look like it's a matte bronzer. But it's just super, ooh, oh, okay. I do not think that this would work for people with skin that's much darker than mine. I'm pretty dang fair. It's pretty, but yeah, if you have skin that's even slightly darker than mine, you might not like this very much. It reminds me a lot of Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil or like Hula Light. where it's just really, really light. If you have fair skin, you would love this. I consider my skin fair light, not super fair. I wouldn't even consider it light. We'll say fair light. This powder has a weird smell to it, you guys. It almost has like a baking powder scent to it. It's bizarre. Okay, so there's that. And let me get my hairline. I do think, I wish the pans were a little bit bigger. I know why they made it so small, you know, to make it affordable. Because Charlotte Tilbury is an expensive brand. So I understand why they made the pan so small, but it's hard to get like a big old bronzer brush in there without dipping into the other pans. Yeah, it's a bit powdery, and that could be just because I'm making it a mess. I could build it up. I mean, I definitely was able to build this up a little bit, but yeah, if your skin is anywhere darker than mine, you probably won't like that very much. I'm going to try to contour just a little tiny bit. So I kind of talked about this in one of my other videos where I'm just slightly contouring, like right here, and that's it. So I'm not doing like a full-on cheek contour, just like a little bit. I feel like that makes such a difference. So just like that. And then to kind of carve it out a little bit more without contouring, I go in with a translucent powder or like my face setting powder. I'm going to use the powder they included in here. That is an all over face powder right here. This is their, what is it called? Like the perfect, God, it's the really, I have the full size version of it. Right here, like the flawless finish airbrush powder. I use the color 1 light, and the palette has 2 in it. So that's why I say it's probably a smidge too dark for me. But I'm going to use that to kind of just carve this out just a little bit. You can also use that to set your under eyes, which is probably what I'll end up using it for most frequently. So there's that. Okay. Blush time. I'm so excited. I think I'm going to use the color. So Pretty Blush is a little bit more peachy. It's probably really hard for you guys to see this. It's a little bit more peachy, and then, sorry, Summer Blush is more peachy. Pretty Blush is more pinky. My eye look leans more on the pink side, so I'm going to use the pink one. Yeah, this palette has a ton of like powdery kickback. I hope I didn't put too much on my brush. Ooh, that's pretty. That is pretty. It's just the littlest bit of a flush. Not too overbearing. Not too overpowdering. Powdering. Yeah, these smell weird. Really pretty. Oh my gosh, I love that, you guys. Yeah. That makes me want to buy more. See, this is my problem. I do know Charlotte Tilbury is now sold at Sephora, which is so exciting because before you could only get it at like Nordstrom or I think Beautylish carried it as well. But like now you can get it at Sephora. And I was saying in my most recent, actually it was my Nordstrom haul video, that in North Carolina and South Carolina, there is not one physical location that carries Charlotte Tilbury. So I actually went on the Charlotte Tilbury website, and they have like a location tracker on there where you can see all the retailers that carry them. There's not one location in North or South Carolina that carries it. But now, since Sephora carries it, I'm thinking I might be able to get it at the South Park Sephora. So we'll see. I'm going to use this highlighter right here, which is just called Glow. It has a little bit of a pinkiness to it. I will say overall this palette is very much so like a subtle palette. If you're into super glam makeup, see, like this highlighter is not anything crazy, but it is giving a really pretty, just kind of natural glow. But if you're somebody who's not really into natural makeup, if you love the glow, if you love the pow, if you love the pigment, you won't like this palette pretty much at all. But it is just very soft and subtle. Good for every day. Good for a more like sophisticated look. Yeah, that's really pretty. But it is very, very subtle. Very like bridal even. Kind of reminds me of like bridal makeup. Okay, I do like that palette a lot. I'm actually really glad I got it. I'll have to play with it a little bit more, but there's that. Okay, lips. So I got 2 PR packages, one from Too Faced and one from CoverGirl with a ton of lipstick in it. Sorry, I know I'm fussing with my hair, but it is what it is. I actually got a really rude comment. I'll tell you guys about it in a minute. I'm gonna go grab those packages real quick and we're gonna see which one. Okay, so I got the new Too Faced Melted Metallics, which are really, really good. I've worn them a couple of times. The colors are very wearable. They're like the first metallic lipstick I've worn that I actually like. So I got those, and then I also got this huge package from CoverGirl that has like a bazillion million lipsticks in it. So I think I'm gonna pick one out of here to wear. Do I want to do bright or do I want to do nude? I feel like I'm doing more of like a subtle look. So let's Honeyed Bloom looks like a color I would really like. I'm not going to open all of these because I do want to put some in a giveaway. And I don't want to give away anything I've like worn or swatched or even opened. Ooh, yeah. Okay, that's the one I'm gonna wear. And they come with lip liners too. So there's one called In the Nude. There's one called Caramel Nude. There's one called Rosewood. I'm gonna do a whole video about this box, by the way, guys. Let's do Paradise Pink. Okay, so yeah, so I got this really, really rude comment from somebody who was like, oh my god, you're always fussing with your hair. It makes me think that you care too much about your appearance. It annoys me. It stresses me out or something like that. Unsubscribe. And first of all, I'm fully aware that I touch my hair a lot. But I touch my hair a lot in real life too. Like, it's not like I do it just because I'm filming. I touch my hair all the time. Like, I noticed the other day, we had like a video conference at work and I had my hair in a side braid. And so when I have it in a side braid, it kind of comes down right here and it just like hangs out over here all day. And because it's right there, it is so easy to just fuss with it, pet it, play with it all day because it's right there. And I noticed the other day, because we were on video conference, that I was playing with it the entire time. Let's see. This is a good color. It's very, very light though. Not a whole ton of pigment, but it's really smooth. It has a scent to it too. Yeah, it has like a clean, almost floral scent to it. Very, very subtle. I'm fully aware that I touch my hair all the time. Like an obnoxious amount of times. These don't have a scent to them. This is in the cream finish, by the way. Oh yeah. This is just the prettiest pink. It's like a peachy pink. I love that. I'm gonna go back in with a lip liner. Very pretty. Okay, last step is to set the makeup. So I'm gonna use my Kat Von D Locket, another product in my 13 by Halloween. I'm using these products up, you guys. I am determined to use them all up. And now I can put on my jewelry. I cannot stand it when people put makeup on top of their jewelry. Like, it drives me crazy because I feel like that cannot be good for the metals of your jewelry. Like, especially if it's like fake jewelry, I feel like it's gonna tarnish it. And if it's real jewelry, I mean, even more so. So I don't know. But put on my earrings. I got these from the Nordstrom anniversary sale. They are so pretty. They still have them in stock. I'll link them down below for you. They're just not on the sale price anymore. But these are so pretty, you guys. I actually wore these on my wedding day. Look at them. They're just like these little studs. They're like a stone with a halo around them. And they're rose gold. Super pretty. So yeah, this is the finished look. I actually do feel like this is very appropriate for daytime summer. It's just light and airy. I don't feel like I'm wearing a ton of heavy makeup. The colors are really pretty. So I'm ready to go have my day. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any requests or anything like that, let me know down below. I don't know why I did that. I think it's because I thought I had lipstick on my teeth. Anyways, let me know down below. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you subscribed. It's free, it supports me. And also if you're interested in any of these products that I used, I'm gonna link those down below for you. I don't know if you guys know that I do that, but every product I use is always linked in my description box down below directly to that product. So check it out if you're interested in buying any of those. And I think that's about all for today. Thanks for watching. Bye.